The pile-up involving many cars after the safety car lights went off at the Tuscan Grand Prix has been a topic of debate, with some blaming it on the race leader at the time, Valtteri Bottas. Meanwhile, others have suggested that it is the safety car restart rule itself that is flawed. FIA race director Michael Masi has now given the FIA's take on it. I'm your host Dylan Shelley, and first up on Formula World, drivers can criticise all they want, no need to review the safety car restart rule. Masi began by accepting the fact that the Mugello circuit had some unique challenges as a racetrack for F1. The stewards acknowledged the challenges the location of the control line presents at this circuit, and the desire of drivers to take advantage of the restart. However, this incident demonstrates the need for caution to be exercised in the restart situation, and note there was an extreme concertina effect which dramatically increased as it moved down the field. We also note that some drivers might have avoided being involved in the incident had they not followed directly behind the car in front. By doing so, they effectively blocked off all visibility of what was happening immediately in front of the preceding car. He then reiterated that the criticism of the rule is not going to have any effect as there are other tracks with similar challenges. Simply put, they can criticise all they want. If we have to look at a distance perspective from where the lights were extinguished to the control line, it's probably not dissimilar, if not longer, than a number of other venues. The safety car lights go out where they do. The safety car is in the pit lane. We have the 20 best drivers in the world, and as we saw earlier in the Formula 3 race, those drivers in the junior category had a very similar restart to what was occurring in the F1 race and navigated it quite well without incident. He then revealed that the drivers had been warned about the extra care needed at Mugello prior to the race. At the end of the day, the key part is that drivers were all advised very clearly at the drivers' meeting on Friday night that there was two key parts to remind them. One was to ensure they don't overtake the safety car before the safety car line at pit entry. The second part, which is unusual for this circuit, is the control line where they can overtake is located close to the pit lane exit. He also reiterated that the race leader has the right to set the pace and how it was no different to what drivers do at Baku. It's not a surprise, and we've seen similar matters in Baku with such a long run to the control line where the leader, who has every right to dictate the pace, has kept it quite slow to try and avoid a slipstream from the cars behind. Masi signed off by confirming that there is no need for a rule change. I don't think there's any need to review the safety car restart rules. Fast feed! F1's managing director Ross Brawn feels that Red Bull's Alex Albon drove beautifully, and he certainly had to work for that. Some of his overtaking moves were phenomenal, especially his move on Daniel Ricciardo for third place. He reiterated that in Max Verstappen, Albon has a stellar teammate and it will always be a challenge for him and anyone else in that seat. Max Verstappen has hoped they can change things next year and hopefully it will be a little bit better then. His team principal Christian Horner chimed in by also hoping to get closer to Mercedes next year, but he doesn't think they'll beat them. Because of Corona, you can't change so much about the car. He also suggested that in 2022, with the new regulations, there will be a new opportunity for them. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel is not a big fan of race restarts because if you start on the right side of the track, you have a huge advantage over starting on the wrong side. Norbert Horg, the former head of motorsport at Mercedes, is of the opinion that no dominance will last forever. That's what we saw at Red Bull Racing, so if they do a good job, Aston Martin can be very successful. Former F1 driver turned commentator Martin Brundle finds it strange that the same power units in Max Verstappen's teammate Alex Albon's car and the sister team of AlphaTauri for Pierre Gasly and Daniel Kvyat seem more reliable. Brundle also defended Valtteri Bottas as it was his prerogative to control the race as leader and accelerate when he wanted. The race at Mugello also makes him very much look forward to returning to old-school Imola in a few weeks. He further pointed out that F1 might keep having the same winner, but the route to victory is certainly fascinating and different. Mercedes' Valtteri Bottas had defended himself by stating that when you're in the lead, you try to make the best of it, and added that he is not at all guilty of that crash. And Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto has accepted that they have to go back to the drawing board and think about what they're going to do towards 2021. Does Albon's podium change your view on him as a driver? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.